What's up guys, Learning with Rich here. In this video, we are going to continue our discussion for Revit for mechanical design certification preparation. Okay, so for your examination. Again, we are already on the families topic. So for this one, we're going to understand the family creation workflow. So you are going to learn the recommended family creation workflow. Alright, so let's do this. So the first thing that I'm going to do is, I'm going to create a new family. Okay, so we're going to do this from scratch. So I'm going to select new here. And then I'm going to select new family. Let's click that family. And then for this one, the template that we will be using is, I'll be creating a mechanical equipment. So I'm going to use the metric mechanical equipment template. So this is how you create your family. So first, you need to create using the template that is available in Revit. Okay? So basic. So I'm going to use a mechanical equipment template because I'm going to create a mechanical equipment family. Okay? So after that, just select here open. Now, so we are here on our family editor. Okay, so currently we are on reference level floor plans. So we have several views here. So we have the floor plan view, so we have the ceiling plan, so we have the 3D view, and then the elevation. Okay, so the next thing that we will be doing, we are going to create the skeleton of our family. Okay, so we create first the skeleton, and then after that, we're going to put the muscles. Okay, so we need first to control the muscles, so we need the skeleton. Okay, so the skeleton here is called your reference plane. Okay, so let's create a framework with the reference plane. Okay, so let's select the reference plane. Alright, so we will be using this option line, so that is the default selection. So I'm going to create one reference plane here, another one here to the right. Okay, so another one here at the top, and then another one here. Okay, and then I select here modify. Now to tidy up, I'll just going to align it to each other. Okay, so by the way, this is our reference plane. So this is our center. So this is the front, and then this is the back reference plane, and then obviously this is our left, and then this is our right. Okay, so now reference planes can be named. Okay, so if you're going to go to the properties, and then if you're going to select the reference plane, let's say for example this is our back reference plane. So I'm going to select this one, and then here on the properties you can see that you can change the name here, or you can specify the name. Okay, you can even specify here the ease reference parameter. So this parameter helps you to control the priority of dimensioning in the project. Okay, so what we are going to do is, if this is our back reference plane, the backbone, so I'm going to select name here, and then I'm going to type back. Okay, and then I'm going to specify also the reference plane here as back. That one, and then apply. Same goes with the other reference plane. So I'm going to select this left here. So I'm going to name it left. And then for the east reference, I'm going to select here left, and then apply again. Okay, so same with the right. So click that, name. So that's right. East reference, so that is right. Okay, so you can click inside here and automatically it will apply the name here. No need to select apply. Okay, so select the front, specify the name here. So let's type front, and then reference plane here, so front, and then just click outside to apply. So let's double check. So this is the right, this is the front, this is the left, and then this is the back. Okay, so now the next thing that we will be doing, let's go to the front view. Okay, so from the project browser, from the elevations, so you can see the front here. So let's double click the front, and then we're going to create a couple of reference plane too. So I'm going to select create, and then I select your reference plane. Okay, so let us just tidy up this one. So I'm just going to align it here. Okay, so our left and right. So these two reference plane here, this is the one that we created from the top view here, from the reference level. So if you go to the front view, it's like you are looking to this side here. So that's your front view. Okay, so let's create two more reference plane here. So the first one here, and then the second one here. All right. Okay, so I'm not going to name this reference plane. Okay, so I already show you how to do it. Okay, then the next thing that we will be doing after you create your reference planes, your bones, the next thing that we will be doing, next step is to dimension the reference planes. So let's go back to our reference level here, floor plans. Let's go there. And then we're going to put dimension here. So I'm going to select here align dimension. So let's click this one. So I'm going to put dimension here on my left, referencing the center. And then I'm going to click the right here. And then after that, I'll just click outside here. And then you see there's an EQ icon. So that means equality. Okay, so if I'm going to click that, these two sides will become equal. The reference is the center line here. So that is what we're going to do also with the horizontal lines here. So I'm going to select this, select, and then click here, and then select EQ. And then I'm going to put an overall dimension. So I'm going to select this one, and then this one here, and then I'm going to click here. Same with these two vertical left and right reference plane. There you go. And then I'm going to select here, modify. Okay, so that is also what I'm going to do on the front. So let's do that on our front elevation. So let's go to the front, and then let's put dimension here as well. So align dimension, our reference level is here. So let's put this one here. I'm going to place it here. There you go. And then I'm going to place another dimension here. 1, 2, and then I'm going to place it here. There you go. And then just select modify. Okay, so now the next thing that we will be doing is we are going to create a parameter or parameters, set of parameters. You see these dimensions that we add here. So we are going to add some parameters to it. Okay, so we're going to put a named parameter to these dimensions that we have here to make it parametric. So to do that, from the properties, you just need to click this icon here, family types. Okay, so let's create parameters to drive the dimensions that we have. Okay, so to start creating parameter, so just click this icon here. So you click that. So that is new parameter icon. And then this is our parameter properties. So we are going to create a parameter here. So let's say for this one, I'm going to call this length. So that will gonna be a type parameter, common, discipline, data type, length, and then I want to put that under the dimension group. Okay, so I'm going to create a length parameter, and then let's select again, create again. So this will gonna be my width parameter. Again, same options. So common, length, dimensions, type parameter. So I select here, okay. There you go. So let me create another one. So let's say this will gonna be my connection diameter. Oops, diameter. All right. Okay. And then select this one. Connection height. Connection height. Okay, so what's the difference between the type and instance? So let's say, for example, for connection height, I'm going to put that on the instance parameter. And then later, I'm going to show you what's the difference once we load this family inside the project. Okay, so remember, our connection height is instance. Okay, so instance, I select here, okay. There you go. What else? So I'm going to create another one like the length, height. Okay, so I'm going to put the height. Okay, so type parameter, common, length, dimensions, okay. There you go. Okay, and then after that, you can specify here what will gonna be the value of your parameters here. You can even create a formula here. But for simplicity, I'm just going to specify here the value. Okay, the value of my parameter. So let's say for this one, I want this to be like 6 inches. So I'm going to type 6 inches. And since I'm using metric system, metric unit in this template, automatically Revit will convert that to millimeters. Okay, so let's say the value that you have is in inches. So you can type the value there, including the symbol of the inches, and then Revit will automatically convert that to millimeters. Okay, because our unit here is in metric unit. So I'm going to apply, and then you see it automatically converted to metric. So let's say this one is like 1 inch. Apply. There you go. So this one is like 5 feet. Just put the symbol and then apply. And then this one is 5 feet as well. If you are going to type only 5, Revit will read it automatically as 5 millimeters. Because for the length, height, width, diameter, height, so the settings there is in millimeters. So if you're going to put 5 only, so Revit will read it as 5 millimeters. So that's why if you mean 5 feet, so make sure you put the symbol feet, okay? And then I'll just select here, apply. There you go. And then for this one, I just type the same value. There you go. Apply. And after that, I'm going to select here, okay. Okay, so after we create the parameters is the next step, we are going to label the dimensions with parameters. Okay, so how to label? So I'm going to start on my floor plan. Okay, here for the floor plan, I'm going to label this one. How to label? So you click the dimension and then you can see here label dimension. And then you can click the drop down arrow here. So you will be able to see all the parameters that you have created. For example, for that one, I'm going to select that as length. There you go, length. And then for this one, I'm going to select this dimension here. Let's say that's my width. Okay, there you go. Okay, now let's go to the front view. So front view, let's click that one. Let's say, for example, for this one, this will gonna be my height. So let's select height. There you go. And then for this one, so that will gonna be my connection height. Okay, so connection height, and there you go. Okay, right. After we label the dimensions with the parameter, the next thing that we'll be doing, let us now create our muscles, the geometry of our family. Okay, so we just created now the skeleton. Okay, the framework of our family using reference plane. By the way, if you want, you can flex. You can test the parameters if it is working or not. So let's say I'm gonna test it first before I create the geometry if it is working. So let's go to family and types. So let's say for the length, I'm gonna change this to 2000. And then I select here apply. So as you can see, it's working properly, right? How about the width? So let's say I make this 5000. Apply. So hang on. It's not working. So, there you go. So it's working, right? So there's our width there. So let's select this one. So let's change this to like 3,000 and then apply. There you go. So it's working. 1,000. Apply. There you go. So it's working. So how about, I'm just going to put it back again to the default value. Okay, and then apply. All right, so now how about let's go to the front view. So let's test out our height and then connection height. So let's go back to our family types. Let's test out the parameters, the height. Okay, so let's make this 2,000 and then apply. There you go, it's working. So how about the connection height? Connection height, this one. So let's say I'm gonna make that 50. Apply. There you go. So it's working. So 50. Okay, 25.4. Apply. There you go. It's working. So this one, 1524. Apply. So it's working. So our skeleton is working properly. Now, the next thing that we will be doing, let's create the geometry or the muscle of our family. Okay, so let's do this. So I'm going to select the reference level here. Okay, and then let's go to the create tab, and then this is the forms panel wherein we can use these tools to create a solid model, and you can also create void forms here. Okay, so for simplicity, we are just going to create a solid model with just the extrusion. Okay, so let's use the extrusion, solid extrusion. So let's click that one. Okay, so here on our draw panel, so we will be using a rectangle tool here. So we are going to create a rectangle by snapping to the reference planes that we have created. Okay, so I'm going to snap here. Make sure you select rectangle. So let's click here, 1. Then click another point here, 2. And then make sure you lock it. Okay, let's lock the sketch lines to our reference planes. Why? So that later on, if we change the width or if we change the length, okay, so as our skeleton moves, our muscle will follow the skeleton. Okay? Okay, so let's select here finish. So don't forget to lock that. So finish, check. There you go. So this is now how it looks like in 3D view. Okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to select the front elevation here. Double click that. And then this solid or extrusion that we have created, we are going to assign that here on our height. You remember we have the height here. So I'm going to change the visual style here, shaded, like that. So I'm going to select the extrusion, and then I'm going to click this arrow, this shape handle, and then snap that to the height reference plane, like that. And then again, guess what? Don't forget to lock it so that when we change the height parameter, our extrusion will follow as well. Okay, so lock that one. There you go. Okay, so that if I go to the 3D view, let me change the visual style to shaded. So if I change here from the family types, if I change the height there, so like 2000, so it will change the solid model as well. So same with the length, and then the width, 2000, or let's say 4000. Okay, and then I'm going to select apply. There you go. So it's all working properly. Okay, so I say 1500, 1500, 1500, and then apply. There you go. Okay. So it's working nicely. So far, so good. Now, the next thing that we will be doing here is we are going to create a round extrusion in our reference level here. So that round extrusion that we'll be creating, that will gonna be the location of our connector. Okay, so let's do this. So let's go to the create tab again, and then let's create extrusion. This time we are going to use circle. So our connector is circular. So I'm going to snap here and then click outside. Any radius will do. And then I'll select here modify. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put a dimension parameter here. Okay? So I'm going to select align dimension, and then from the dimension, I'm going to select here diameter. So we're going to put a diameter dimension here. That one. Okay? And then if you remember, we have a parameter here, connection diameter, right? So I'm going to cancel this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to assign it here. So I'm going to select this dimension that we just created, and then I'm going to assign the connection diameter to that dimension. Okay, so let's click that. So that again, if we change our connection diameter, we are able to control the diameter here, right? Okay, that's it. So it's already assigned or labeled. So let us now finish this one. So let's finish. There you go. And then let's see that in the 3D view. So you will not be able to see that because if I'm going to change the visual style here to wireframe, it's actually here inside the box, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the front elevation here, and then I'm going to change the visual style to wireframe. So there's our extrusion. So I'm going to click that extrusion, and then the top portion, I'm going to snap it here to this reference plane here, the connection height. Okay, so I'm going to click that and then snap that to the top reference plane, and then again lock it. Okay, so lock. Don't forget to lock, and then same with this one, but this time the bottom portion I'm going to put it here. There you go, and then lock it. All right, and then let's test. So let's go to the 3D view. Let's change this to consistent colors. There you go. Right, and then let's test it out. So let's change the connection height. I mean the connection diameter. Let's change this one. So like 200. Apply. So it's working. 500. Apply. So it's working. So how about the height? So let's change this to 100. There you go. So it's working. So 500. There you go. Okay, so 25. There you go. So it's all working. So this one is, let's say, 100 diameter. So it's all working, right? And then select here, okay. Now, the next thing that we'll be doing here is after we create the skeleton, the muscles of our family, the next thing that we will be doing is we are going to place a connector to our extrusion here, the circular here, because this is actually the location where we're going to put our connector, right? So what I'm going to do is from the here, I'm going to do it here in the 3D view. So from the Create tab, Connectors, I'm going to select here the connector. And then you can specify here what type of connector that you would like to be placed on that location here. So let's say that will going to be my supply air. And then using the face placement or place on face placement for our connector. So we are going to place it here on this face here. So make sure this face is highlighted like that. So you click. And by default, the shape is rectangular. Okay. So I'm going to select here modify to terminate the tool. And then I'm going to select this dimension here. Or I mean the connector. And then let's check the properties. Let's change the shape. So instead of rectangular, so let's change that to round. And then apply or just click outside here. So it becomes circular now or round. Now, the next thing that we'll be doing, we are going to assign here the connection diameter. Okay, so let's click this. And then after that, you see there's a diameter parameter here. So I'm going to click this button here to associate a family parameter to that diameter. So let's click this one. And then from the associate family parameter, so let's click connection diameter. And then I'll select here OK. There you go. So that when we change the connection diameter to, let's say, 200, the connector will follow as well. There you go. Right? Okay, now the next thing that we'll be doing, so let's say we are now done with this family. So let us save as this one. So I'm going to save as this family on my documents. So let's say I'll call this mechanical equipment. Okay, BAB box, for example. And then I select here save. There you go. So it's now saved. And then I'll just close the other views, the inactive views. So as you can see, I have here a project, right? So I have a project here, family creation project. So this is where we are going to insert the family that we just created. So let's go back to the family that we created, and then let's load this into the project. So let's load this. There you go. So there's now our family. So let's place it somewhere here. There you go. And then select here modify. Okay. So let's go to the 3D view and let's look at our family. Very good. Beautiful. So let's click this one. Remember, we created a parameter, the connection height. We put that on the instance parameter. That's why, as you can see, the connection height parameter is here on our instance parameter. And then the rest of the parameter is inside type parameters or properties, right? So this is our type properties, and then this is our instance properties. So in the instance properties, if you change this, it only affects this family here. But if you are going to modify the type properties, it will affect not only this family, but the other elements or elements that have the same type of family. So let's say if I'm going to copy this, so let's click this one and then I'm going to copy that. So let's say I'll copy one here, another one here. Okay, there you go. So I'm going to select this. So let's see what will happen. So I select this one and then I'll change the height here. So let's say for the height, I want that to be 200 millimeters. Okay, so I'm going to apply. So as you can see, it only affected, or it only affects this family here. But if I'm going to select this family and then edit the type, remember they are all the same type. They're all the same mechanical equipment VAB box. So if I go to the edit type, and let's say here I change the connection diameter. So let's say I change that to 500 millimeters. Okay, so I'm going to select here apply. As you can see, it affects also the other elements. So that's the difference between the instance and then the type. Okay, right. So let's check out if our connectors is working. So let's click this one and then let's click our connector here. All right, so our connector here is working just fine. So let's say for the elevation, I'm gonna type here like 2000 millimeters, or let's say I'll just make it like 5000 millimeters. There you go. So it's working, and then I click here. There you go. So our connector is working. So that's our family. Okay, so basically that's how you create your family. So that's the basic way of creating family. For a review, the first thing that you need to do is you need to create first the bones, the reference planes. Okay, we created the reference planes, and then after that you label it. You put dimension and then you put a label. Okay, you put the dimension, you create the parameter, and then you label your dimensions here. And then after that, you create the muscles or the geometry of your family. Okay, so that's it for this simple exercise. So hopefully you learned something from this video. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.